We good?
We're good. We're live.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Be positive.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
we're good.
Hey guys, my name is Adam.
I'm Bobby.
Hey, and we're here with the Peak live stream this week, and we got some interesting topics for you. Um, really, what we are, who we are. I'm just a Peak technical support representative, and he's the marketing manager, so he's kind of like the super dude over here.
I'm definitely not super dude, but yeah, I'm the marketing director at Peak Internet, and what we do here is we're an internet provider, technical support, and professional IT services for small and medium businesses.
Yeah, so to start off here, we're going to talk about some typical issues that we always have with our internet customers. Last week we covered kind of like home networking solutions and how to facilitate those. We're going to actually touch on those again this week um, in a little bit different sort of way.
Okay.
But really, what I wanted to start off with is speed issues. Now, always, we get that customer calling in and saying, hey, my internet speed is slow. Is it you or is it me?
Right.
Or there's always the customer that says, are you guys having a problem? Which I wish I could say yes, like every single time. But that's just sidestepping the problem.
Sure.
Anyways, most of the time, especially with our DSL customers, what we're seeing is that they're really using the bandwidth to the maximum. Now, depending on what performance plan that you're on, because now we have the power plan, the performance plan, and then the all new included Nitro plan.
Nitro plan.
Yeah. So, and really just to get it out there, I think our power plan is the up to 6 megabits.
Correct.
And then the performance is 7 to 20.
There's a range in there because some customers can only get the 7 meg or 8 meg service, but majority of them get the 16 or plus, 16 to 20.
And that's really just dependent on the quality of the phone line that's going to your home. That's really what it comes down to. And then the Nitro plan, same idea, same concept, and it's 20 to 50, right?
It's a range of like 21 to 50. Yeah, if you pass that 20 meg plan, distance, because it is a distance for your phone line. How far away are you from the central office or the next DSLAM? So yeah, if you're really close, you're going to get that 50 meg internet service on the Nitro plan really quickly. But if you're really far out there, maybe in the LC area, you might only be able to get 21 to 25 megs. So we would look at that, and we want to put you then only on the power or performance plan.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to pay the extra to get the Nitro plan that you wouldn't be able to get.
Right on. So basically, we said some numbers 6, 20, and 50, or 21 and up.
Yeah.
But what do they really actually mean, right? Because that's what it's coming down to these days. Everything's streaming, everything's cloud streamed. So just to spot out a few numbers here, we're going to talk about bandwidth, and then we'll talk about speed issues.
Sure.
Okay, because everyone wants to watch Netflix. Everyone wants to watch Hulu, Amazon Prime.
YouTube.
Those are the three.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely YouTube. Although YouTube has way more ads than it ever used to.
They do, and you know what? You never see the ads buffer. Why do the ads never buffer, but your video does? That's because it's cached, and you're not going to have buffering with cached videos like that.
Right. There was a problem with Hulu where Hulu was putting like only high definition commercials on there, so you would buffer on the video or on the commercials anyways, backwards. Anyways, so we'll start off with Netflix. According to their site, if you look them up as well, the absolute minimum for super low end standard definition, below standard definition, is about a half a megabit download speed, and that's the absolute minimum. Once you step up into 1.5, that's getting into standard definition, and 3 megabits per second is into full standard definition.
Right. These are their minimum qualifications.
Correct.
These aren't recommended speeds.
The associated number is about 480p.
Right.
Okay. And the next tier is about 5 megabits per second, and that's kind of a wishy-washy zone because it's dependent on what you call HD. Because a long time ago, HD was determined by just that 720p, okay? But we also have 1080p, and we have 4K, so...
And you can get into it deeper. You got 1080i, 1080p, so now you got 4K TVs that are becoming a norm. People are having that and streaming at that 4K resolution. It takes a lot more bandwidth than you expect.
Netflix is actually recommending a for 4K content is a 20 megabit
minimum.
Yeah, and they call it their ultra HD, which is the definition of 4K.
Right, they call it the UHD thing.
Yeah. Like, so we don't exactly know what the resolution is. They could be pulling an Xbox 360 and like Watch Dogs at 560p or something like that. Anyway, so those are the kind of typical numbers that you see. And if you look at the other services as well, it's the same type of idea. For Hulu, the minimum is actually listed as 1.5 for standard definition, and then 3 for 720, 6 for 1080, and then only 13 for 4K definition, which is a little bit intriguing, but it comes down to the post-processing or the processing that each company uses. Amazon Prime is a little bit different as well in terms that their minimum for standard definition is 900 kilobits per second, and then 3.5 for HD videos. My guess is that it's in 720p. Now, I think they're actually showing some really, they have the potential to shoot in 4K. At least that's what I've been seeing, like, on my TV at home.
Right, the new 4K video. And it's compression. It's all about compression when these guys stream to your home or to your device. How good is their compression algorithm? Can they make it tight enough so that when you get it to your screen, it still looks really good, but you can watch it on even slower speeds?
Yeah, for sure. And with these new and increasing speeds, like, they're always going to become more demanding and more demanding. So what happens when it starts buffering, right?
What do you do?
What do you do? So realistically, we said those numbers, and most people are going to be happy around that 5 megabit download speed, at least for Netflix. Now, realistically, you don't actually want to stay at that 5 megabits, because if you only have 5 megabits to work with, so our performance plan up to 6,
up
right?
To 6, yeah.
If 5 megabits is that HD download stream, you only have a megabit like to play around with, really.
So you're talking about for multi-users.
For multiple users.
So if you have a household full of kids, you got gamers upstairs, you got daughter playing or watching YouTube, and you got you downstairs with your wife trying to stream a movie on Netflix. It's going to be really difficult with 6 megs. That's where we want to upgrade to the 20 or higher.
And a lot of times I tell customers in regards or in reference to Netflix itself, and I use that HD streaming number, that 5 megabits per second, because that's pretty much where all TVs are at. Rarely ever are you actually going to see a 720p or a standard definition TV anymore.
Smaller TVs, yeah, but no, most TVs outside of the 24-inch, 27-inch are all now 1080 or higher.
Right? I mean, my last TV that I just bought a few months ago, it's a 4K TV. Yeah, it's not anything special, but at the same time, it only costs $300.
Yeah, they're cheap. I mean, you can get them at Walmart now for $250. Really good quality TVs.
Yeah, and it's all that you need for the most part. There's always those super hardcore guys into audio and video. Which
there's the audio, there's video. You want the 120 hertz, the 244 hertz refresh rates. Get that crisp lines on everything. The color has to be perfect. The sports watchers who don't want any blur when they're watching it. So yeah, those are higher end TVs. And I know CES 2017 is going on right now. It's going to be wrapping up this weekend. LG, Sony, Samsung, they've all debuted brand new, some of them are 8K panels now, so almost seems like 4K is already out and 8K is in. I mean, that fad went by and it's not even here yet.
Yep, and there's actually two different newer technologies. Well, not new, but one of them is new. The other one is kind of like, it's been on the back burner. So organic LEDs.
Yeah,
right?
LEDs, yeah.
So those are coming out. I think Sony just released theirs at CES. And then Samsung and a few other companies have this new technology called Quantum Dot. They're also releasing a new gaming monitor that's supposed to be really, really snazzy.
Oh, Samsung is?
Yeah.
I saw Asus's, and it's really nice. It's a 27-inch 4K G-Sync 144 hertz IPS panel.
Right.
Color is great. It's like what every gamer's wanted. It's going to cost about $1,500 off the bat.
Right. So before we get too much farther off topic, because that's actually the interesting thing. I've been watching the CES videos like all week long. So buffering. realistically, how do we troubleshoot speed issues? That's the real issue, or that's the real question that I have for you guys. A lot of the time, like I said, it's usually something that's either uploading or downloading. With our connections, it's usually the upload speed. So think of it this way: if you have an iPhone, if you have a MacBook, if you have a Windows 10 computer, if you have literally anything that connects to the internet,
basically,
that uses a cloud storage or some sort of cloud service, you can back up your iPhone just over the cloud, and everything is hunky dory after that. So those are the typical things that we see that are using the upload speed.
Right.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because for our connections specifically, and DSL connections alike, if you use that upload speed all the way through, then it can bring a really bad effect to the download speed, which kind of cripples it. It's easily resolved. We just need to find out what service is using it.
Locate the device that would be uploading and shut that down if you want to have a great streaming quality experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because that right there is eating a lot of your bandwidth during the time of your video, and you would notice some buffering issues if you had a 6 meg service and you're trying to watch something in HD.
Mm-hmm. And then the other part of it is that like when you think about it, when you're on a call with us, we always ask you, well, can you bypass your router?
Yeah.
Right. All the time. It's can you power cycle your router, and can you power cycle the modem and router and bypass the router
and go straight to the modem.
Go straight to the modem. Those are the two really basic key steps, because we want to make sure that the customer is getting all of that internet connection, so that when they see their speed test, it's the true reflection of the speed.
Well, it's the first step for troubleshooting, right? You want to make sure that the connection coming to the home is the speed that you're paying for. From there, if we're seeing issues on one computer or laptop device or a Roku streaming device that's not maybe buffering too much, we can then troubleshoot from that step forward, and we can say, where in the house is it too far from the router? Is there more noise? Is there a family member upstairs playing a video game? Something else can be associated with it. So what we'll do is we'll start from the modem, make sure you're getting the correct speeds, then troubleshoot further and further all the way to the device.
Mm-hmm. And typically, what we also do, we have a set of tools on our computers that we can actually see, or at least for our Pioneer customers, we can see the actual physical connection, see how fast it's logging in, and if we actually see problems there, then we can just go ahead and start saying, oh, we need to troubleshoot in a different spot, or we can assess the problem differently.
Awesome.
As well as like, so if it's bandwidth issue, then we can actually log into a program that shows us, hey, this person's already uploading like at X amount of megabits per second, and we can kind of single every device out after that. So good ways to troubleshoot. The basic things that we need customers to do that will help speed up things is power cycle.
Power cycle sometimes fixes things that you don't even think about, and you haven't restarted your modem or router in a year or 2 years, so you think about that. You have to just power cycle, pull the power out, wait about 60 seconds, plug the power back in, give it another couple minutes for it to boot up and connect up again, then try it.
Mm-hmm. And for our connections, you always want to pay attention to that DSL light. Solid DSL light is good. Flashing means that it's trying to connect. No DSL light probably means that there's a broken connection between the modem and the wall, or just the connection is broken as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. That's really what I wanted to do about bandwidth and speed issues. So, anything that you wanted to cover?
Well, I think people need to know that just because you have internet doesn't mean you can watch HD movies in high quality without buffering. Because I can get on a website doesn't mean I can stream a Hulu or Netflix video in high quality as well. You want to have more bandwidth than you typically need in a household. Think about how many people are using the internet at the same time. So a little bit more than you need is always best.
For sure. I mean, how many devices do you have in your home?
I have 16. Actually, I just looked this up last week. I did a count on my router to see how many MAC addresses were authenticating, and 16 devices in my house of 2 people are connected.
Right. I think I have like 25.
It's incredible. Everything from your smartwatch, if it connects to your modem, or your router, to your phones, your laptops, your tablets, your TVs. Heck, I think even my refrigerator
Really?
Now connecting. Yeah.
You have a smart fridge?
I have a smart fridge with that little 8-inch screen on the front that can play Pandora.
Does it show you what's inside your
No,
fridge?
It's not one of those. It's not one of the ones where have the camera and you can like look on. I think that's a Samsung fridge. Mine's made by Kenmore, and I can play Pandora. It can go. It has a photo slideshow so that when I'm filling up my water, I can see pictures of my family and stuff. But no, I think it does get an IP address though.
Right. I mean, so many things are internet connected right now. Like, for example, like on my computer, right here, I have this application. Even though that I'm not at home right now, I can still turn on my lights and I can still turn on my work phone when I'm working from home.
So smart homes, yeah, that's a huge topic right now. I know CES 2017, they're getting really into smart homes right now, talking about all the devices. My first step into the smart home device was the Nest thermostat.
Oh, I have one.
The Nest thermostat is really nice because I can change my temperature from wherever I am. If I know I'm coming home and it's really cold, I can set my temperature to the right temperature, and then within an hour of my drive coming home, I get to the house and it's nice and warm, or it's nice and cold depending on how it is outside. Then it reads the temperature of the room, and it adjusts accordingly to if you're in the house versus if you're not, if you're away. So it automatically adjusts and says, at 7:30 he leaves the house every day. Let's turn down the temperature down to 65. Right, I could set that as my base.
Mm-hmm.
That would save me so much energy and power usage, right? And then it says he comes home every day at 5:15 or 5:30, kicks it back up to 72, back to a warm house. That's amazing.
Have you seen how it gives you like those little eco points?
Yeah, the leaves, right? You get the leaves, and then I don't know how many leaves I've earned this month. It's been really cold here in Corvallis, so probably not a lot of leaves this month. But back in like August, September, October, and the fall and the spring months, I get a lot of leaves.
Right. For sure. Although internet home connectivity for like home security, IP cameras, everything now, those are some of the things that we're also running into problems. So another call that we get is, hey, my IP camera is like, it's not working. So how do I get that working? Realistically, what it comes down to is that the router that you have at home is basically kind of a gateway, right? And you have to get past the gateway in order to get out into the world and be able to check your IP cameras remotely. A little bit more advanced, but with a little bit of training for everyone, and just doing it, to be honest. IP port forwarding is really, really easy to do.
If you can figure that out, it's a pretty simple process on the modem and router yourself. We can help with port forwarding. That's something we do with all of our clear access modems. We can do it here, where we don't have to do anything. You just tell us what you have, what port we need to open, and we'll connect it up. But when it comes to something, maybe you have your own router, and we can't connect it with you, or we can't remote in there and do it ourselves. We have a great service called Tech Home, and for only $14.99 a month, really cheap, we would be your 24/7 IT support for everything technology in your house, from your TV not connecting to the internet, to your Xbox needing a port forward, to your IP cameras having issues for when you're away and you want to watch them on your smartphone, it's not working. We'll fix it remotely for only $14.99 a month.
And that's literally all inclusive.
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where. If you're having troubles, and pretty much if it's internet related.
Anything connected to the internet that we can do. And that's not just it, because I know we've all had blue screens of death, right? Now they're having these green screens of death. There's new, right?
Oh, that's just a developer build.
Microsoft built this green screen of death so that it got rid of the cliche blue screen. It's a joke. But these blue screens of death and these viruses that people get on their computer just by opening up an email or an attachment or clicking on the wrong link, we fix those. If you have your computer slowing down, we'll fix it. If a virus infects it, we'll remove it. If the blue screen happens, we'll fix it too. Everything down even to the CryptoLocker virus, which requires us to go into it in a safe mode networking, we can do it.
Yeah. The cool thing is, if you didn't know already, is that with that service, that $14.99 service, Tech Home Support, if you do get a virus and there's no way of actually getting online to get our support, because a lot of things you can do over the phone, but right. There's just that point where it's just like, it's done, it's gone. They say that they'll actually cover it, or in terms of, hey, let's go ahead and take it to a repair shop, let's take it to a technician, and they'll essentially cover that fee.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's a fee that if you're paying the $14.99 and there's something where we can't remotely do it because of that issue, we'll cover the cost for it to go to a shop and get it replaced or repaired.
Yeah, right. Speaking of issues, lately, there's kind of been a running issue that we've noticed. It's kind of like along the lines of an unidentified network or an invalid IP, as most customers are saying. Pretty easy fix if you run into it, although it's kind of in a certain after you've done your basic troubleshooting and you still have that unidentified network. Like if your computer's not getting an IP address from your router, this is probably something that you want to try. Now, the easiest fix that I've heard about is actually holding the left shift key, shutting down your computer while you're holding the left shift key.
And what does that do?
Apparently, that puts the computer into like a non-cache. Like it'll run the full clean startup, basically.
Very cool.
So that's the easiest.
Is that all Windows computers, or is that just Windows 10?
So we've mainly noticed it on Windows 10. However, I have had it on a Windows 8 computer. And I think Jared realized or read an article that it was happening across 7, 8, and 10.
Wow.
So that's just our observation, just the technicians that are in the call center.
Right. Yeah, we always pull our resources and try to figure out the problem and solve it as quickly as we can.
And then for you more advanced users, for Windows 10, if you right-click on the Start menu and then go to Command Prompt, you can do an ipconfig / and then renew. Kind of does the same thing. Kind of. At least you get your IP address back.
Yep. Yeah, you can release / renew, and that should flush out your IP config and then find a new IP. Yeah, most likely it would work again.
And then speaking on Windows 10, you brought up a Windows 10 Creators Update that's coming out in March. Or April.
Yeah, so Windows 10 came out a little over a year and a half now, right? And they've come out with their anniversary update back last year, and now they're coming out with their Creators Update in April of 2017, this year. There's a few features that they're coming out with. A gamer mode, which will take some of the priority to the game that it's being played and remove some of the priority and CPU usage of all the other applications that may be running, giving that game the ultimate priority, making it work better. A couple other features are going to be with the holographic stuff that's coming out.
HoloLens.
Yeah, the HoloLens that everybody's been talking about for the last couple of years. I know in CES 2017 they're talking about it even more. They have a release date, I think, by the end of this year. They've been having app developers make more and more apps for it, not just Minecraft and the cool stuff that's out there. But yeah, those are a couple of key components that are coming out in the the Creators Update. And I think there's a few others that I listed in there.
Have you seen the Surface Dial?
I haven't seen the dial, no. Is that the big...
Yeah, it's the little hockey puck.
Yeah, you put it connected to your screen, and you can turn it?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, so from Photoshop support, that makes life so much easier.
I think I did see a video of it when they came out with the new Surface Books. They were launching it. They had that on the screen, and the way they dialed it in was just awesome.
If they opened it up for every computer to use, well, with the addition of Macs, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't work with everything.
Not the like put it on your screen and have it function like that, but just in the fact that it's a multiple use controller, right? Like a lot of people online have been saying it's really similar to the Griffin PowerMate. It's a wired USB little hockey puck thing, which you can essentially program macros into the features of what you want to do. So for me, if I were to get one, I would use it for like press button for mute, volume, and then like next and previous tracks or media controls or whatnot. A lot of things that you can really do with it.
Yeah, they're just different peripherals that they're coming out with that are making it more dialed in, easier to use. You'll see them with newer computers. Speaking of Macs, Mac came out with their newest MacBook Pro and MacBook. I think they did away with the original MacBook and made just now the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pros.
Yeah, pretty much.
So their new MacBook Pros, some of them, if you get them with it, have this touch bar on the top of the keys. So they did away with all the F1, F2 keys off the top, the function and escape. Now it's a touch bar, just this organic LED strip that you can program those keys to be whatever you want, from the same keys that were there originally to all new components, and every app that you open up from Photoshop to Chrome to Safari, they are all customized to that. So you can use this touch bar in a way more dynamic way than you could with just the keys.
For sure. Although I saw a video where they
were they playing Doom on it?
No. So even outside of the realms of like actual common sense, they plugged in 4 USB-C chargers, and like, well, come on.
Yeah. So the way these new MacBook Pros, if you don't have one, they all are now USB-C ports, and there's only 4 of them, 2 on each side, and they all can do a power charge. So you don't have to charge from the left side. You can charge from the right side. It's universal on all. But it does have a sensor inside that will tell if multiple power plugs are in, and it will kill off whatever one, so it leaves one. So you can't overload the battery and blow up. But yeah, that theory of people plugging 4 in and just saying, let's see it explode. Right. I'm sure they thought about that at Apple.
Right. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty much coming close to time here. CES. What have you seen at CES? Or
some of the cooler stuff I've seen at CES. Well, the eHang. Have you guys heard of the eHang? I think it's eHang 640 or 650. It's a AAV. It's an aerial, autonomous aerial vehicle. It allows you to get into a cockpit, probably the size of about 5 feet wide by about 6 or 7 feet long. So a normal size human, 220 pounds or less, can fit into this cockpit. They can tell them where they want to go, and from there it goes to eHang's their central hub in each of these countries that they're going to be allowed to be in. I know the United States is not going to be one of the first ones. Yeah. China is definitely one of the first ones. They're already doing it. But you get into this cockpit of this drone, basically. You tell them you want to go to X, and eHang's central hub programs a flight path, lets the FAA, whatever country you're in, know this drone's taking off and landing here, and estimated time and the flight path and all that stuff. So basically, they're vehicles that fly. I mean, we're here. We're in the Jetson days already, right? These eHangs are coming out. They're talking about making it like an Uber. So, call up your Uber. No, I'm calling up an eHang. I'm going to fly to my destination, and I'll be there a lot quicker if there's traffic.
So, speaking of Uber, did you know that California has completely outlawed, like, actual automated drivers? So
they've outlawed the autonomous vehicles?
So the rumor is for Uber, right? So they went to Uber and said, hey, can we put these in your fleet, right? That'd be a brilliant design because you wouldn't have to pay a driver, right?
Gas, tax, and all that stuff.
Okay, but you cut out a driver.
Cut out a driver, yeah.
Anyways, so apparently, according to some other news articles, Florida approached Uber and said, "Hey, we'll do this."
Alone do an autonomous Uber?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's 100% happening, but the fact that California rejected and Florida just initially just said, "Hey, yeah, we'll do it."
Well, go Florida. I mean, autonomous vehicles is new, but it's not so new. There are vehicles out there right now, like the Teslas, the Tesla Model X, that can do autonomous driving. You still have to be in the driver's seat to control some functions, but it will drive for you. It will know when an accident is occurring. There's a video out there right now that actually predicted an accident ahead of it, and it knew to move out of the way. It predicted it, that the accident was going to happen according to the speed of the vehicles, according to the objects on the ground, and it avoided the accident. It was awesome.
But that's in the updated firmware.
So. Yes, make sure you update your firmware. That's a big key too. Update.
Of course, that's assuming that you own a Tesla in the first place.
Yeah, we don't own Teslas.
Right, CES is cool. One of the coolest things I saw is a $9,000 Acer laptop.
The curved laptop, the
curved
Predator.
Laptop.
Yeah, I saw that too. They have a curved screen laptop. Was it 24 inch?
It's a 21 inch.
21 inch. Okay.
21 inch with an i7 something in it. It's unlocked though.
Did it have the dual 1080s?
It had the dual 1080s.
SLI. So this laptop is massive. So I wouldn't call it a laptop. It needs the hybrid name between desktop and laptop because it's not something you would want to set on your lap because of the weight. But it's pretty cool. It has a curved IPS panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has a dual 1080, so it's going to run practically any graphics usage, video, whatever you want. And it has the curved cliche, new screen. Everybody thinks it's pretty cool, but check it out.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that we think that they're full spec 1080s. Like they're not cut down.
They're not the cut down mobile versions.
We don't think, or they don't think that they were cut down. So
we'll see when somebody gets one and breaks it apart.
Right.
That's
whoever does a $9,000 breakdown. Right. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for you guys. Anything else? I don't think so.
No, check out Tech Home if you're really interested. It's something we would love to talk to you about. Email us at marketing@peakinternet.com. We'll shoot you some info. Or just give us a call, 541-754-7325, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And we'll talk to you about Tech Home, let you know there's 3 different levels of it. There's the Tech Home Support, which is that $14.99 level, which is what we recommend. It covers everything. There's Tech Home Plus, which gives you antivirus, backups, and password management for up to 4
computers, yeah.
That's right. And then there's the Tech Home Basic. That gives you up to 2 computers, right? 1 device, 1 computer.
I think but that's the key word: 1 device and 1 computer.
Yeah, so it's not 2 laptops; it's a mobile phone that can have antivirus, backups, and password management, and then a computer, desktop, laptop that can have it. So, looking at those 3 packages, they start at $5.99, $9.99, and $14.99.
Cool. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. Hope you can watch our next one, which
we'll have it scheduled on our Facebook here soon, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.
Okay, later guys. Kind of. Just wait.